The culture shock and just being there kind of on our own and getting into maybe scenes that maybe we wouldn't have if we had our parents around. Maybe that's where the song kind of was
So it's
born.
making it tougher?
I'm sorry?
Is it making it tougher? I think, did you feel pressure as kind of, let's say, the stereotype is we're soft-spoken Torontonians, and we're out there in the middle of LA, we're like, it's like scary, so you got to, you felt you had to toughen up or assert yourself? Is that what
I guess it's a whole other world, so I guess the whole thing of adapting to being there was kind of a shock.
So give me some horror stories.
Not a lot of horror stories. I think just overall the day-to-day is... it's just different. The first morning you wake up, quote unquote, living in Hollywood without all of the comforts of home is kind of, actually that first week was probably when we wrote a ton of songs. So yeah.
Okay, so is that, I see the sign here for we have to cut to a break. Sorry, Bella.
That's okay.
We're interrupting your narrative.
I was just getting good, but anyway.
It will continue. So let's take a short break. And we're back with Menage, Technicolor, Bella, and... Stacy, right?
Yes.
Stacy, yeah. It's hard because you are going to be, overshadowed anyway. So as long as you understand your role in the band, that's okay. So getting back, so there you are, but you were in LA for 16 years.
Not that long.
Not that long?
No, we got there. Well, Fernando got there first in 2002, and then I joined him around 2003. And that was, so 9-10 years ago.
Okay, so everyone knows.
I always think it's like a dozen years, but it's not yet. It's about 10 years.
Okay, we have to change the info on the internet.
And
My God, it was an actual mistake on the internet. Who knew? Because they said 16 years. Okay, so now let's talk about, now everyone knows you're this is a sibling band of the Carpenters, the Osmonds, and all that stuff. But in every family band, there's a peacemaker. Who's the peacemaker?
You're looking at him. It's Stacy. Stacy Shopswitz, everyone. Bassist and peacemaker. Yeah.
Really? So give me an example.
I mean, sometimes there's some personal stuff, I guess, that when you're on tour, you're in a band, you're always together. You eat together. There's only one van, so you can't really have your own time. You get on each other's nerves a little bit, and sometimes there's a little bit of flare-up, so just making sure it doesn't get out of hand.
Crack a beer bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
And go, hey, tone it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's what I ask you. How do you handle constant media, promotion, writing, promotion, performing, and traveling? Do you have any downtime?
Not really, but I personally get bored, and if I get bored, if I'm not busy and bouncing a bunch of stuff, I really get kind of depressed because I think I start thinking too much. So I love being overly booked and double booked and everything like that.
That's wonderful.
So it's all kind of it doesn't feel like work. Definitely.
So let's talk about album production. How did you meet David Bottrill?
Bottrill, sorry, I just...
You're right. Okay. I gotta make better notes. You're right.
It's okay. I'm just kidding with you, but it is Bottrill. I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I think we knew one of his engineers, and then through that he heard our music and he really liked it. And I mean, this is a guy who's worked with our favorite bands like Muse, and one of Gabriel's, our drummer's favorite artists is Peter
Smashing
Gabriel.
Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins, the works. And so it was kind of a dream come true that he was interested in a way, came to us and said, hey, I heard some of your stuff.
What a compliment.
Yeah, and now we're friends, so it's cool.
So what did he bring to your album?
I mean, I don't know, everything. Just knowing that you're going to be working with the likes of Mike Phillips and David Bottrill, you have to step up your game a little bit because you just feel like, okay, this is the real deal. This is our one shot. So I think he just brought pressure, but good pressure. And inspiration.
Well, the best kind, I think. If you're working with someone who has an A game,
exactly,
it ups yours.
It's like these little songs that we wrote in our bedrooms all of a sudden are being presented to someone that has is responsible in a way for our favorite albums. So we definitely had to.
So speaking of little songs, we're going to get to a song soon, but let's tell me a bit about what's behind Bury Us Young. What's behind that?
I guess, like we mentioned before, just living in Los Angeles, living in Echo Park, which is kind of a not so glossy part of town, but it's inspiring for that reason because it's a little bit grittier than I think what we as Canadians see on TV and have that kind of.
So it's not Rodeo Drive.
Definitely not. And I don't. When we're there, we actually never go there because it's too clean. There's nothing really that's gonna inspire you there.
And also, just before we get to the song, tell me a bit about the video. The video has a wonderful quality. It's shot outside.
Yeah.
It has this amazing lighting, by the way. And then you got this parallel narrative of two young people kind of on the run. And it almost reminds you of the Clash's London Calling. Were you thinking about that?
I'm actually not really familiar with that. Sorry.
Oh, Bella.
Sorry.
No. Oh, please, for our Clash,
you're
our
turning
Clash
on me
listeners,
too,
you didn't
Stacey,
say
thanks.
that. Bella, next time you have to lie.
I'll work on it.
You can't say I've never seen London Calling. Oh, my God. Okay.
I'm very Catholic.
Okay, so who was the video director?
Brad Ragland. He's a good friend of ours. And he's responsible for every video we've ever done, even when and we'll probably always work with him. We kind of like to keep it that way. The people that are with us when we're nobodies, we plan on taking with us all along the way.
Don't use the word nobodies.
So to speak.
You got to read Emily Dickinson. There are nobodies in somebody. That's right. That's right. I'm nobody. Who are you?
You're not a somebody till someone loves you.
Oh, that too.
You're like pulling out all the cliches.
All this down negative stuff. What's going on? So, actually, I want to ask you, though. I saw your performances at the Horseshoe.
Awesome.
And at the Viper Room. You have such high energy. You're like a headbanger, Bella. Seriously.
Yeah.
So, like, you sleep all day, then just save it up for night?
I just drink a lot of coffee and Guinness.
So one brings you up and one brings you down. I don't know.
It's all up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. So, okay, you're too quiet, Stacey.
I know, Stacey.
So while she's headbanging, what are you doing on stage?
Just keeping it together. It's generally my role in the band, on stage and off stage, you know.
Okay, we are ready. We're ready for the wonderful Bury Us Young by Menage on CHRY 105.5 FM. And we're back with the charming duo. Actually, it's about but two members today of Menage. We've got Bella, we've got Stacy, who comes from a delicatessen background. He's wearing the shirt. I love it. Rocking the Cantors, Los Angeles. Wonderful. So Bella, here you are. When were you last? When were you last in Toronto? Wow.
We've been here actually for a bit because we're recording. We were away touring in the States in November, and then we got back and did a couple shows here, spent Christmas with our families because they're still here. And now we have a couple of shows coming up before we head back to California, and we're also working on new music.
Well, tell me about how, you're, I was negotiating the hyphen, being Canadian and Portuguese. How did that, influence your music?
Well, we spent, as you probably know, because I could tell you, you're good at researching, we spent a chunk of every year since we were born in Portugal. Because
you're so fortunate.
Yeah, our parents were pretty concerned that we would lose our roots or forget where we came from, so to speak, or not know our grandparents enough. And so we did that. It wasn't the greatest for our scholastic careers, but it was good. And so being there, just naturally, you're just exposed to a whole different culture and different music that you don't even realize it, but you're just absorbing a lot of different cultural influences that you wouldn't normally have as much access to being in North America.
Do you sing in Portuguese?
I don't know. I mean, I can play around and cover songs, but I've never written a song in Portuguese, just because even though we speak it fluently, we don't write. We haven't gotten used to writing poetry in Portuguese, and so it would just seem insincere, I think, to start writing lyrics that are just calculated, kind of formulated.
You want to be authentic
completely
to yourself.
So it'll just be kind of weird. Maybe one day, but
maybe one day. That's
you never
right.
know.
Yeah, but it was great, though, as I mentioned, and we were talking. I love that you use Portuguese music, though, for your Sound Academy promo. So talk about you're going to be at the Academy on February the 2nd. Who you got? Are you solo? It's actually part of the Supernova Battle of the Bands. What is that?
It's a competition. This is actually the city finals. We did another Supernova event earlier on the year, and we won. So we were invited to play the finals. The winner gets artist development deal with Coalition, who's really a great management firm here in Toronto. They represent Simple Plan, Finger 11, and a lot of great Canadian acts. So,
how many bands compete, though? How many?
I mean, in the entire competition, maybe 200. Now it's maybe down to 15 or so.
200? Oh my
maybe
God.
more. It's pretty big.
Wow. Well, I imagine it must really toughen you up, though. You really got to put it out there.
We're
Yeah.
not scared.
Bella, I would never.
We're from the streets.
I would never think you were timid. Never. So speaking of which, I was watching your interview, one of your interviews in December, and you say, and I quote, "We see life as short. I don't want any regrets. Whatever we think of, we just jump in." Bella,
I don't recall saying that.
Bella, TV never lies. You said it in your interview with Dropout.
I did.
With
That's
Jesse
phenomenal.
Reed. Yeah, I heard.
Jesse, journalist Jesse. Yes, it's true. Put your fingers away. So it is, and I stand by that quote.
No, but that's amazing because there are people who are double your age who don't live in the moment.
Yeah.
And who don't live their authentic. So you've got that right away. That is maybe one of the best ways to live.
Yeah, I think it's the only way to live because, yeah.
I'm a woman of many words. So, which track should we close with?
Let's say Get Out.